Hey mama, welcome to the One Income Family podcast. Today I'm not going to do what I normally do in the podcast, which is talk about finances, which there could be a little aspect to it today, but I just really, since today is Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve and tomorrow is Christmas. I just wanted to, share with you what's currently on my heart as I'm going into what is going to be an extremely busy Christmas season for myself. And so I just really wanted to embrace a heart that's joyful this season instead of one that is extremely stressful and overwhelming, making things unhappy, right? And so I wanted to share with you a few things that I've been thinking about that's been resting on my heart, and maybe this is a message that you need to hear as well, but I just really thought that if it's helpful for me, it's going to be helpful for someone else out there as well. So go cuddle up with a nice warm drink, get comfy with them babies, and open your heart to God as we settle into today's episode. Do you find it hard to save or get out of debt? Are you constantly searching for ways to save money and live on a budget? Do you have big dreams only to be stopped by not sticking to your budget? Are you ready for financial freedom? Then you, mama, are in the right place. Welcome to the One Income Family podcast, where you will learn what it looks like to budget on one income, how to partner with God in your finances, how to budget in a way that's easy to stick to, and how to cut costs and save money, all so that you can start building wealth. It is my mission to equip you with these tools so that you can live in abundance regardless of the amount in your account. Hey, I'm Molly, a budget coach for stay-at-home moms, and I know what it's like to struggle on one income. I've lived paycheck to paycheck, relied on being frugal, and failed many budgets until I learned how to budget without tracking. This has allowed my family to pay off debt and build wealth all on one income. So, if you are ready for financial freedom, then go grab that stroller, plug in those headphones, and let's get to it. If you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, then I want you to listen in as I walk you through a budget audit and all that it can do for you. A budget audit, simply put, is a way for you to learn what is going on in your budget. It will help you figure out why you're living paycheck to paycheck, why you're struggling to stick to your budget, where your money's going, and then you'll be able to walk away knowing what steps you need to take to get on track. These steps will allow you to be able to do more than just pay for your necessities. You'll stop living paycheck to paycheck and find yourself saving money, getting out of debt, going on that vacation, and even having enough wiggle room to splurge a little while still living on one income. So hit pause right now and send an email to mollybanal@gmail.com letting me know that you would like to book a budget audit so that we can get you booked today. Again, that's mollybanal@gmail.com. That's MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of the episode, today's episode really just came to me because it's something that I've been having to really remind myself about this past Christmas season, because I've kind of just gotten really overwhelmed with all of the busy and all the things that I'm going to have to do and all the gifts that I have to buy and the 5 different Christmases that I have to go to. I think it's 5. There could be more than that. I don't feel like counting. But you understand where I'm coming from. And I wanted to go into these Christmases as they're coming about with a joyful heart, with a grateful attitude, and not something that's going to make Christmas maybe unhappy for somebody else, or they're going to go about saying, man, she was a grump. I don't want to be the Grinch. That's definite. But that's why I sat down to write this up, or to record this episode. And I got to thinking about all the things that I needed to look at inside of me. It's not necessarily an external thing, but an internal thing. And that is where this episode came from. Yes, everything that I'm going to talk about can be related to finances because it's definitely a mindset game as well. But I'm more focusing this on Christmas so that well, seeming it is Christmas tomorrow, right? We can have a joyful holiday and really just take these tips that I give you, because it's going to be short and sweet since it is Christmas Eve. Um, but I really want you to be able to grab them, take them, and run with them so that you can really just create a joyful atmosphere for your family, for your friends, and maybe even just yourself. Whoever you are going to be around, it's going to be a joyful, happy celebration instead of something that you're just like dragging your feet, not really wanting to do, right? So let's just dive into these tips. Let's do it quick and we'll try to stay to the point so that you can just go into your holiday with a joyful and happy heart. So the first thing that I want to, touch on is first off, this isn't even a point. I'm going to start with this one, but I really want you to look inside yourself and see where you're at. Where is your energy at? Where is your attitude currently at? And just really figure out where you are. Because if you don't know where you are, you're not going to be able to take these tips that I'm going to give you and use them. You're going to be trying to fight yourself the whole way. So I want you to just really get a grasp as to where you are right now about the whole thing. And then to look at what your expectations are. Sit down with yourself and figure out, what are you expecting to happen tomorrow? Or maybe it's the next weekend, or maybe it's been a past weekend that maybe you've already done Christmas, right? But what are your expectations? Are they so crazy and out in outer space that it's not something you can actually imagine? So really just get a handle, or an idea, that's a better word. Get an idea where you are currently at, where your attitude is, your energy is, and what your expectations are, so that when I give you these tips, you can actually make tweaks and changes and run with it, right? Okay, so after figuring out where you currently are, I want you to look at trying to embrace a heart of generosity and gratitude, because that is what this season is all about. We get so in the thick of things that we are getting all these gifts, but when we get to actual Christmas giving, we then reverse the roles. We're like, well, what did somebody get for me? Are they going to get something that I truly enjoy, or is it just a waste of money? Is it going to be something that I want to regift and I'll never use it again? And we open it and it's something we don't like, or something that's not something we actually need, right? And we give this atmosphere. It's not just a look, but it's a feeling. It's a whole embodiment of our attitude, and our emotions just come out in sometimes disgust, sometimes disapproval, sometimes unappreciation. And that is something that I want to not do this year. I want to go into Christmas with a joyful and happy heart. And no matter what somebody gives me, even if it's not something I truly need, I am going to be over the top excited and joyful about it, because that is what that other person deserves. They deserve, because they maybe don't know you very well, and they went through all this trouble to get you something, and they don't really know you, so they're not going to be able to get you something that's actually important to you, right? Even if it is your family, if you're not in contact with your family all the time, you're not going to be getting something that is so impactfully important and special to you. That's something that your husband will get you, or your kids will get you. And even sometimes they don't get that kind of stuff, because when we're getting it all the time and constantly, those things kind of just don't, it's really hard to get meaningful gifts. You know where I'm coming from. And so even though you're getting it with a joyful heart, and you're trying to get something that is meaningful and they're going to enjoy and not just want to toss to the side, then it can be really devastating when you see that look on their face that they're not happy with the thing that they got. So that is why this year I want to change it all up. I want to actually be over the top excited and joyful for the thing that I got for them, not for me. I don't really care what I get this year. Yeah, maybe I have a little bit of expectation of what I'd like to get, but in all reality, I don't know what I want for Christmas. I couldn't tell anybody what I wanted for Christmas, because I usually buy the things that I want or need as the year goes on. So when it comes to Christmas, I'm just like, I just want your space. I want to be around you and to enjoy you as a person, right? I don't necessarily need a gift. But then if I am serious with myself, I do want a gift because that's, what we've kind of ingrained in ourselves is that Christmas is all about getting gifts instead of giving gifts. And I really just want to turn that all around because the true meaning of Christmas isn't about getting. It's about giving because we want to be like Christ. We want to be, well, not like Christ, but like God, right? We want to be like God who gave us his one and only son. So we did receive something, but we received something so much more meaningful than anything you can buy here on earth. Nothing can compare to the gift that God gave us. And so that is why we should then, in return for the goodness that God has given us, be doing the same things for other people that we love, be focusing on trying to give instead of receive. And yes, I know this is not something that you can embody right now as Christmas is tomorrow or maybe the weekend or whenever you're going to end up celebrating Christmas. Maybe it's today, right? But I just really want you to be thinking about this kind of stuff so that when you do go to open those gifts, no, you can't just flip on a switch and change that mindset. I wish it were that easy, but it's not. And just really be able to go into Christmas with a joyful giving sensation. And maybe the giving that you're giving them is just the gift of gratitude. Instead of worrying about the gifts that you are physically giving them, give them the gift of being joyful of the thing that they got you, even if it's something that you don't like, because that is so much more meaningful than an actual physical gift. Okay, the next thing I want you to do, and I'm working on myself, is release your expectations. So when I told you earlier to look at what your expectations are, I want you to really sit in what you expect to happen that day. Do you expect it to be a day of relaxation? Do you expect it to be easy and slow and restful? Because in all reality, that ain't Christmas. There's nothing slow about that day. You're cooking, you're opening gifts, you're running to the next house. It's busy, it's constant, and it's always going. And if you have expectations that aren't in alignment with the reality of what's actually going that day, it can become an extremely hard and difficult day. And showing that gratitude and generosity that I went over just a few minutes ago is not going to be able to happen because you're going to be so rooted in the unhappiness that you are in because your expectations aren't coming to life, right? And so I really just want you to release those expectations. Let go of the expectation and just let life happen. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy whatever's happening. Take it one grain, 1 minute at a time, and just relax into it. And it's going to be so much better than if you're sitting there going, well, this isn't what I thought today was going to be like. Or even if you expect it to go bad, because sometimes family members get into arguments, right? Still, let go of that expectation, because sometimes just that attitude or the air, I can't think of what I'm actually trying to say, but the air, the atmosphere, there we go, that people can be giving off, the vibes that people can give off can cause that kind of situation to happen instead of keeping it from happening. So just really be rooted in joyfulness and happiness and generosity and gratitude and constantly giving to those around you instead of self-desires and selfish needs that we are constantly wanting, because that's normal. It's the way of the world. That's the way life is and the way we are, because we are human and we are sinners, and there is nothing that we can do that we're not going to be perfect, right? We cannot be perfect. We will sin, but we can do our hardest and to try as hard as we possibly can to be like Christ. Okay, so with that and all that goodness that I just said, I want to leave you with one more grain of salt to just really think about and ponder on. Try not to get so engrossed in the busy that you become like Martha. You know, the sisters Mary and Martha. Martha was so engrossed in the things that needed to be done and the busyness of the situation that she wanted to serve everyone and get all the food ready and going. And she got bitter and unhappy because her sister and even resentful that her sister was able to sit there and just glean everything that Jesus is saying and just like soak in all that he is and the goodness that he has. And I want you to be careful not to get so engrossed in the busyness of the day and the emotions that come and the expectations and all the things that we want to do that we forget to be like Mary and focus on what's important, which is family. It's God. It's sitting down and thinking about the goodness and the great things that we have. Again, that gratitude and that generosity where we're able to just feed into each other and just really embrace the day and make it joyful. Relish that time with your family and let go of the busy. Does that mean that you don't go and make lunch or supper, whatever it is that you are doing for the holiday? No, it just means don't make it all about that to the point where when somebody isn't helping you, you become bitter and resentful and just take on a heart of negativity instead of that heart of generosity and gratitude. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to keep it short and simple to the point today, even though I could, keep talking because I'm a rambler. But with that being said, I pray that you have a great and blessed Merry Christmas, and I will see you right back here next week on another episode of the One Income Family. Before you go, I hope this episode has ignited a fire inside of you, and I pray that it creates long-lasting impact. Did you know that you too can impact other one-income families? All you have to do is leave a written review and you help get the podcast in the hands of other mamas in need. You can also text this episode to that friend who is also knee-deep in the same kind of chaos as you and inspire them to make a change. Also, your review lets me know that you're enjoying the show, and that lights me up. I get so excited to hear from you. Another great way that we can connect, though, is through the One Income Family community over on Facebook. So after you're done leaving that 5-star review, head on over to the community where you will find other mamas working their way out of the chaos. You can ask your questions and connect with others who truly understand what you are going through. I cannot wait to connect with you in the community. Until then, I will see you right here next week on another episode of the One Income Family podcast.